Any sad or mad feelings before we start? Ready? Put our feelings here right in front, and we're going to throw them behind us. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
Good, gone. Now we're going to get into Cook's hookups. Good position. I will try my best today.
I will try my best today.
I will not give up.
I will not give up.
And I will have a feel-good Friday.
And I will feel good Friday.
Excellent. Now the leaders can decide how you'd like to say good morning to us. There are many factors that have shaped my philosophy of teaching and my approach for classroom management. A lot of it is trial and error. You try something out one year and it works great. The next year you try it, doesn't work so well, and then you reshape it, reform it. There are a lot of different programs that I've been trained in that really help me look at the student as an individual and the class as a unit together, and then the classroom with me in it as a part of that environment. You're going to be acting out some things that may come up for our field trip next week. But first we're going to talk about this book that we read a while ago. Let's see who remembers the story. Anyone who remembers can tell us anything they remember from this story. Who remembers this story, The King of the Playground? Natalia, tell us something you remember from it.
The boy and the boy, one part is where one of them says like they can't go to the slide or something, and then he says he's gonna bring a nail and nail everything to the door and everything so they can't ever come back to the park.
Excellent. Was he the king of the slide? No. Was he the king of the playground? Truman, tell us why. Tell us why not.
Because pretty much nobody is.
And what happened at the end of the story? Excellent. What happened at the end of the story with the two boys at the playground? By referring back to literature that they've read about a story, a fiction story, and relating it to their real lives, they can connect what's happened in some of the strategies so they can use them. By acting out scenarios that could happen outside at recess or on a field trip, they are armed with the verbal skills and the physical skills to use those in those scenarios later. And I find that helpful because as a classroom teacher, I'm not always there at recess, I'm not always there at lunch, and they need to develop their own independent strategies for conflict resolution. Well, next week when we go on our field trip, there's going to be a lot of people there. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get to do all kinds of things. There's going to be the water, there's going to be the beach with sand castles. And we're going to talk about some things that may come up in the field trip to help you make good choices and use your words to work out anything that may happen. So Miss Santiago and I are going to give you some ideas. We'll choose some people from the Fair Crayon Can to act out those ideas, and then the class will give you some suggestions to how you're going to work it out. Okay, so I have a situation that I'm going to talk about. Let's say people decide not to go in the water right away. They're making a sand castle, and wow, let's see, who's this person that is so proud of their sand castle? Use the Fair Crayon Can. That's the fairest way to pick someone. Let's see who's here today. Mioset, you are making the most beautiful sand castle ever. But someone comes over and kicks it over. Come on over, Christian. Now, let's freeze right there. Okay, now, who has some ideas of what Mioset and Christian could do?
Like, we could just talk it out.
Okay, well, let's see. Want to try to do that? Okay, do it again. Act it out again. Make that beautiful sandcastle and come in. What if you were a person watching this happen? What could you do to help? Okay, what could you, Alexis, if you were watching this happen, what could you do to help?
Maybe I would say, you may want to, Christian, you may want to help her build up that sandcastle because it took hard work to do that. So I think you may want to build it back up.
Sometimes just explaining it to someone else makes them feel, oh, you were feeling that way? Well, then I can help you build that up again. Maybe that person maybe just thought it was a fun thing that they wanted to kick it over. Great suggestion. Okay, let's talk about issues arise outside the classroom that we need to reteach in the classroom, so they're armed with some strategies outside at recess with pushing and with other things, with name calling and in the cafeteria. And so there are lots of things that we do to build teamwork. The students are often in teams and they work on some kind of concept together, and they have to problem solve together. So we do a lot of modeling to help the students, to help show them this is what it sounds like, this is what it looks like, this is what a good working group should treat each other. So does anyone have any ideas of what Natalia and Deja should do if a ball goes over there and it crosses the line, of what Deja could say and what Natalia could say? Do you have an idea? Do you want to tell us? What do you think you should do? Instead of telling her to go do it, what could you say to her?
Deja, don't go over there. Go and tell the teacher. She'll get your ball.
Excellent. Excellent job. Clap for them. Have a seat. Raise your hand if you feel a little more ready to go on the field trip in case any of these ideas come up. Excellent job. We are going to end this part of our morning. As a new teacher, my advice is to gain as many experiences as you can, dealing with all kinds of different students, and meet them head on and see what works and see what doesn't work. And when something fails, you fall down, you pick yourself up, and you can laugh at it and say, well, I'm going to do this better next time. For new teachers, getting down a consistent and fair system of rules and consequences that the students are involved in making makes a difference later. And the more experiences you gain, the more confident you'll become with developing your own set and your own philosophy of teaching and classroom management.